Oh, you young girls, you think you've got everything in the palm of your hands. You think that it's always just going to be Pharaoh burgers and giggles for the rest of your days, don't you? But I've got news for you. Life catches up with you, and before you know it, there's only one thing that gets you out of bed every day. And then she like turns and looks very conspicuously at like the bar with like bottles of booze and a glass that she just had sitting down on the bar. Right. If you need anything else, just let me know. And she kind of like walks back over to the bar.
Lilith like tries to whisper but is high, so it's probably like a little louder than she thinks it is. And she's like, they sure work for their tips around here.
I think the problem is she hasn't had the tip for quite a while.
It's like hysterical laughter. I like collapse. Probably gets a mean-spirited glance from the old lady. She's like, maybe we should go though. She's legit starting to get pissed, I think.
Jonah, you were following the delivery boy?
I was thinking it would be cool to intersect that with Ellen's going to the house.
Ellen, what time of day would you try to go to Thomas's house?
December, so it's probably getting dark early. So just as it's starting to get dusk.
I think what we do is we go to like the road that leads to the house, and we're just kind of like behind some bushes and trees, just keeping a watch out for this delivery guy. And I think we're gonna like follow him up the road when we see he drives by. I tell Tony and Rhodey, I'm like, look, Thomas is super freaky, and as soon as we figure out what's really going on with him, we can get rid of him. So I know this is weird, but
this is Rhodey. Dude, things have been so cool with the crew, you know, ever since Thomas has been gone. Why the fuck are we reintroducing this guy into our lives, man? I don't get it. Look at that delivery boy. Like, Thomas is fucking bad news, dude. Like, let's not.
Yeah, but you saw what happened. I mean, he wanted me to kill that guy, so he's not going to stop fucking with us until we get some leverage. So
he's like, man, all I want to do is I want to go into the woods, I want to fool around, rub mud on my body, and then fuck up the school dance. I don't think that's asking for too much.
I think I grab his collar and pull him close, and I'm like, once Thomas is out of the picture, everything is going to be completely unleashed. And it'll be like you never imagined. All you have to do is do what I say. I have bought loyalty. I also have a string on him. I think
what's going on is, you know, they've always been so committed to you, right? Like, and they do all your weird shit because they're fundamentally all about you, right? Like that's the real moving part there. Is like, against all their better judgment, they are really, really into you. The I am alive thing is a really good, I think that's a great entree to say, no, they might be pushing back, right? They might be saying, no, like, look, things are just returning to normal. And now you want to like get involved with this. I mean, this is fucking nuts.
I think what I'll do is I'll use bot loyalty. So I'll be like, Rhodey, what do I got to do to get you completely on board here?
I think you're going to have to threaten him physically. With Rhodey and Tony, that's always the route that you always have to go whenever they start to step out of line.
Yeah, so I'm like holding his collar and I say that, you know, you're just such a horn dog all the time. And, you know, while I appreciate that, and then I like reach down and like grab his balls, and I'm just like, sometimes it gets in the way and I'm just going to like squeeze.
You know, he kind of gets this like pained look on his face, and like his face is turning red, like he's scared to move, but he wants to pull away, right? And Tony's like, Jonah, man, come on, you don't have to do this. It's cool. We're going to go up to the house. Don't worry about it.
And I'll just like let go and push Rhodey off. And I'll just like look at them. I'm like, you both better remember who's in charge here, or I'll make sure that you do.
They're like, yeah, man, it's cool. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, if we see his lights go by, then we're totally going to like run after him, kind of in the trees a little bit.
So Ellen, do you want to already be at the house, or do you want to like run into Jonah and his group down the way, or what?
I imagine I've already arrived there, scuttling in the bushes. The delivery guy has to be going back. He has to take that message back. So I am waiting, because when those gates open, to sneak in.
Yeah, and just out of character, just to be perfectly clear, out of character, he, in the intervening hours between homeroom and his encounter with Jonah, he did go back to the house, and Thomas was upset about the answer that he got, and then wanted the delivery boy to go kill himself. But it's perfectly reasonable for Ellen not to know that, right? But
absolutely, she has no idea.
Yeah. You see him. He gets out, and he looks fucking terrified. He looks so scared. He gets out of the car, closes the door. There's a gate there, and he's going to press the button to be let in. And he just looks so scared. And he kind of chickens out before pressing the button.
I would like to reach up out of the darkness and hit the button.
I'm into that. Well, yeah, that's good. We'll do that. I like that. He turns away, and he just kind of cries. He puts his face in his hands, and he just begins bawling, terrified and upset. And he's just like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. What do you do, Ellen?
Ding dong. And then I go back into the darkness.
You hear a voice. It's Thomas. I'm sitting here wondering why you're not fucking dead. And the guy basically runs up and collapses against the little voice box, right? Against the little speaker, right? A desperation thing. And he's even lost his, the strength in his legs a little bit, and it's kind of slunk down a little bit, right? He's like, Thomas, I'm so sorry. Please, please, please. I'm so sorry. I don't please forgive me. I promise I'll do better. I promise I'll do better. You just hear the voice say, no, I told you to deliver those flowers. I told you to bring back the answer that I wanted, and you failed. And then I told you to go find fucking Jonah and have him take care of you, and you failed. And so now we have a couple of decisions to make. Ellen, during all this, what are you doing?
I'm trying to decide how dark I want to go.
I say go all the way dark.
All right. Well, then I think I loom up behind him, grab onto his neck, and begin to wrench it to snap this guy's neck.
Oh, a Lash Out Physically? I love it.
Yes.
Try it. Let's see how it goes. Real volatile.
It's going to go badly. So that will be a 6.
Philip asked in the chat, do we see all this? Yes, I think you absolutely see it. Not only because she has a transparent thing, right? But as you're coming out of the brush, right? He spots you and he sees you, and he's like, who the fuck are you? What are you doing here? And Jonah and Rhodey and Tony, you will have all seen this little transaction, right? Jonah, what do you do? How do you respond?
Seeing this, I'm kind of turning to Tony. I'm like, what the fuck is Ellen doing here? And so instead what we're doing is we're just going to sneak to the side of the house and try and look in one of the windows or something and kind of watch the entryway.
Thomas is like, Jesus Christ. Now you're here. Well, here's the thing. Only one of you is walking through that gate. Only one of you. The other one is going to go back home and be fucking miserable. Be so fucking miserable because you are a useless piece of shit. You deserve to die, but are so fucking weak. You won't even be able to make that happen. You got days of misery and pain to look forward to if you don't walk through that gate. And the only one that's walking through the gate is the one who grovels best right now. Stand over here, please, so I can see you fully in the camera.
Oh, man. Wow.
I'm giving whoever, if you take this option, you're getting a condition for it, but the delivery boy immediately falls to his hands and knees to the camera and is just pleading. He's like, please, please, please. He's got his hands clasped tight. Thomas, please let me go through the gate. I'm so sorry. I don't want anything. I want nothing more in the whole world than to be allowed to come in.
Wow.
Thomas is like, can you do any better, dead girl?
Jonah was just going to turn to them too. And he's like, man, everyone is so fucking pathetic right now. He's totally going to sneak around the back and go into the house and try and tag up the inside of the house with the boys while this is going down.
So Lilith and Margot, you know that Sister Mary Edward has a room at the hotel portion of this bar and hotel. There's a doorway and a little lobby and then a kind of a hall that connects up to the rooms. It's like 2 stories. It's about 8 rooms total. What do you do?
On the way there, I want to be like, Margot, you need to promise me that you're not going to lose your shit. You did try to kill me before, and I saw you kill somebody. And I don't think that's your fault. We all have shit going on.
This is a dinner, right? Because the hotel's just like 2 steps away. So
yeah. Okay. And yeah, so you know my secret, and I know yours, but I just have to know that whatever we're doing right now, could that trigger you? Like, are you gonna freak out? Promise me that you're gonna let me know if you're gonna wolf out, because I need to GTFO if that happens.
I'll let you know when to run, Lilith.
Are you promising me?
I promise you, I will let you know when it's time to GTFO, Lilith.
Excellent.
Now let's find out what room the bitch is in.
You make that promise. You can note that down. No one will stop you from just roaming around the halls.
Actually, what I was thinking I was going to do is that teenage waiter that was on shift early.
Mm-hmm.
Thought I'd like try to catch him when he's having like a smoke break. Lean in and see if I can just weasel out what room.
Yeah, I'm into that. So you find him maybe in the back, like smoking a cigarette, right? He's like, "Oh, hey, how was your Pharaoh burger?"
Bloody, just the way I like it.
He's like,
it was fine.
He's like, yeah. Personally, I'm a fan of the Pyramid of Giza stacked onion rings, but the Pharaoh burger's okay too, I guess.
And I just like to make sure my breath is still fresh, and I'll just kind of blow into his face gently.
I think Adeline has some mints on the bar. If you
sure you can't help a girl out? I've got something you could help me with, and I'll kind of just run my finger down behind his ear and down his neck.
Do a turn on and see if this works. This seems like it's such an awkward thing for Margo to do, but I'm here for it. Trying new tactics, I'm here for it.
8, mixed result.
They can either give you a string or choose one of the reactions. You can have a string.
Yeah, I'll spend that string right away. And, I just need to know where the nun is, and I can get you more of this stuff. And I hold up another blunt. Make your shifts go a little faster.
So you want to get into Sister Mary Edwards' room? Is that what you're saying?
I'm just saying I want to know what room she's in, but if you can help me get in, if you know where we can get a master key card, get you hooked up with all sorts of stuff.
He's like, I'll let you in. Do you want to, stay in there for a little bit? I don't know. I think it's having sex on a nun's bed's kind of hot, right?
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, what the fuck? Let's go do it.
That's not the reaction he thought he was going to get. I think he's like, really? I'm just fucking with you. Are you serious?
Well, if you just want to give me the key card, that's cool too.
He's like, all right, yeah. Like, come on, like, where's your redheaded friend?
She's waiting for us. Text Lilith and say meet us outside room XYZ.
He's like, all right, we'll come around the front. Let me distract Adeline for a minute, and then we'll go up. And he goes and he tells the woman who runs the place and kind of something. And she's like, you hear her say, God damn it. And then she goes to the back. And he's like, all right, coast is clear. And he just puts the key card in your guy's hands.
Thanks. And I pat him on the shoulder.
He's like, hurry up, though. Sister Mary could be back at any time.
All right.
Let's go.
Okay. So, Jonah, you were going to break into the back of Thomas's house and just start vandalizing it, basically.
Yeah, I'm also going to look for anything relating to his creepiness, his fake creepiness.
I think like breaking into his house is probably a keep your cool situation because, Thomas is a scary guy, right? What might you be afraid is going to happen in this circumstance?
I mean, I don't care if he finds me, but if he finds Rhodey or Tony and somehow tries to control them, I don't need his influence in them.
Yeah, it's good.
So, a 7.
You jump the fence, we'll say, into the backyard to go up to the back of the house. The backyard is strange. There is a huge amount of like overgrowth, right? But it's more than overgrowth. It's like thick walls of twisty vine, with thorns, with black roses running all along. It is large purple moths the size of your fist flittering around. There are little motes of light bouncing around here and there, but not like, oh, very light, more like a sort of like sickly green light, like will-o'-the-wisps, right? Bouncing and bobbing. The smell is otherworldly. The grass is like ghostly pale white fiber optics, like kind of swaying on the ground. You're vulnerable because this is a place of power for Thomas. He has all the power here. Do you go forward or do you back down?
I'll go forward.
Okay. I do not have all night, Ellen. Are you going to display obeisance to me right now, or am I going to let this fucker in?
She's got her backpack, like the strap of it, held tight in her hands, like she was going to go strangle him with that. And I think that's the moment that she looks down, and there's probably a flash to a shot of her dad with a tie, and her kind of looking down at her own hands, her fingernails kind of biting into her hands with this, Hello Kitty backpack that she's got that's scuffed and wet from the snow. She's pulling back from this. She wants to get away from this.
Yeah, give me runaway, roll volatile.
So that's a 9.
All right, choose one from the list. You get away, but
I think I cause a big scene.
Someone's definitely going to notice. Hold that thought.
Okay.
Lilith, you're probably first in to the room. It looks like you would expect a nun's room to look. There's a cross on the wall. It's very, very like plain looking, just Spartan, right?
Yeah.
Simple bed, plain blanket, a Bible. She does have like a box with papers and things like that. And of course, all of her nun wear hanging in the closet. What do you do?
I'm of two minds with this. Either tossing the place essentially to try to find some evidence that she's got some weird stuff going on, or gazing into the abyss like at this cross and trying to like divine something that way. I think the gazing would fit better for Mercy Falls, right? Where I'm just sort of stuck in this weird reverie at this cross to try to divine something, and then if something goes wrong or something goes right, it still is like a little bit of strangeness that Margot can interact with versus a more pedestrian thing of just like looking through her room.
So you're taking the cross down and holding it, or gazing at it? Like what are you physically doing?
I imagine it's like above the bed, so I think she's standing on the bed and pushing her hand on it, and just like goes into a weird, strange place where she's examining the cross in like a more of an external way than.
I love it. Roll gaze into the abyss plus dark.
6, 7.
On a 7-9, the abyss shows you confusing and alarming visions, but you get your answer nonetheless. And what specifically do you want to know?
I want to know if she is what she says she is. Like if this room is a facade, or is it her true self, essentially?
You have a vision. You are in the perspective of the person doing the thing. You're in what appears to be some sort of like African village. It's a part of the world that you're not familiar with, but you see people wearing like sort of traditional dress, black-skinned people milling about or whatever. And this person that you're kind of embodying at this moment is approaching the shack. There are people like who see you approaching it. They like get scared or emotional and they turn away from you. But you just keep pressing forward. You keep stepping forward, walking toward that hut. And you look down, and in your hand, you're clutching that very cross. It's clutched in your hand. But it's got something like on the end of it, like a sharp, like a stiletto or a spike that's been like screwed onto the end, right? And you're moving in there. You go inside the hut. And there's just a person like hunkered down on all fours, their eyes like bloodshot and red, and they're just like snarling and snapping, feral, bestial, right? It reminds you a little bit of Margot, actually. And they're just like hissing and jumping and backing around. And you, occupying the person that you're occupying, you say, I've done everything I can for you. And there's only one answer left, I fear. And then you step forward, and the thing is like jumping and biting and snapping, but you just effortlessly like kind of push its head against the wall and hold it there while this thing flails around, and you take that cross and you just like jam it into their neck, right? And there's a spray of blood and then it cuts.
Do I get any emotion from it too? Like what I was feeling when I was doing that?
Good question.
It's like watching a TV of this thing happening. Like
no,
I'm in a room.
You feel something, but you feel like a sort of like a relief or a sense of like, I wish it didn't have to be this way, but this is the way it had to be. Ellen, you're just like running, screaming down the path.
Yes.
Someone like kind of steps onto the path. You like run in right into them, right? It's Sister Mary Edward. And she had like a big black case in her hands, like a big doctor's bag. And she kind of drops that as you like slam into her, but she doesn't budge. I mean, she kind of catches you or whatever. And she says, whoa, 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 whoa. Hey, what's going on? Well, calm down.
Just, I think she opens her mouth and like no noise comes out. Like she's in that kind of fugue state that she gets, that she doesn't know what to say. It's only kind of coming into focus that this is Sister Mary, and that might be bad. Like, but her freak out is just so at the top of her attention right now.
She's trying to calm you down. You know, she's like, hey, I don't here. Come here. Like you can see now that she has her car. She's kind of parked her car up like off the side of the path, like kind of pulled it up into a little, like into the gravelly or dirt part, And there's trees all around. She says, "Hey, come here, come get in my car. Let's just talk about this. Are you okay? Are you okay?"
And she's doing that thing where she's shivering not because she's cold, but because she thinks she ought to be cold. He's like, didn't want to kill him. I said that, but he wanted him dead. I don't understand.
She takes your hand and she says, "Child, come with me. Get in the car. Come on. And she takes you to the car.
She always usually follows orders, so she will go with her.
I think she drives a like an older woman car, right? That's what my grandmother drives. She only buys Cadillacs. It's like her thing. Like if it's not a Cadillac, it's not a car to her. Opens the door and you sit down in there, and she comes around and she sits down and she says, "Do you pray? Are you a believer? Or are you? It's okay if not. Don't be intimidated by the fact that I'm a nun." But
no, there's nothing.
Oh, okay. Well, let's just sit and meditate for a minute. How about that? Just to kind of calm down and center ourselves to what's going on. I've seen you at school. We haven't had a chance to talk yet, but I'm Sister Mary Edward Price. She's not a very big woman. She's kind of like, she's an older woman. She's kind of mousy even, She says, "Ellen," you didn't tell her name before, right? "Would you just close your eyes right now?"
And of course, Ellen's like 6 foot, but she's kind of shrunk down because this woman has more sort of force, and you're in that sort of front seat, and there's some hesitation. She'll close her eyes.
She says, "Good. Ellen, I want you to listen very, very carefully to the sound of my voice. What you saw at the top of the hill is bad and scary. There's a bad, bad person who lives in that house. But that bad person is not going to be around for much longer. Ellen, I can tell just by looking at you that you have experienced trauma. It's practically etched on your face. I can see it. It is utterly transparent to me. Tell me what you have experienced, Ellen." And her voice sounds like it's getting like more distant, almost like coming from the back of your mind, right? Like it's a Like you feel like you're floating in a black space and you're just hearing her voice. Tell me what happened, Ellen. You can unfurl your cares at my feet, and I will pick each one of them up, pass it back and forth between my hands, and consider it, and then give it back to you with no power whatsoever. A bauble, a tiny thing that you can put in a drawer and forget about. Tell me everything. And we're going to cut there. Lilith, how would you be reacting, or what would you be doing as you're having your little scene here?
Yeah, I think it would be neat if it's clearly showing me going through a thing. Maybe I'm despondent for a few minutes even, and what brings me back is Marco even like shaking me or something. Maybe I even collapse on the bed and it looks seizure-ish or something, or my eyes look distant, something like that.
Let's have that scene.
Hey, Red, you okay?
I think I'm okay, but I don't think that the sister is who we think she is. And I tell you what I saw.
Well, that lines up kind of with my vision.
But why would she keep trying to separate us and like
It's what you do. You pick off the sheep at the edge of the herd.
In that vision, it seemed like she was hunting monsters. We're not monsters.
Doesn't mean she doesn't think we're monsters. Adults. They're nuts.
But she's almost getting our parents to treat us better. Why would she do that? Is it like a last meal for us or something?
I don't know. So you didn't get anything, though, about why she's here right now. Just what she's done.
Just one thing that she's done. And the, like, determination that she had doing it, knowing that it was, like, the right thing to do to like, kill this thing or person or monster.
I don't like her being here. Feels really dangerous. Maybe we should do something about that.
Well, what are we going to do to her? She's like an adult. And apparently she walks around with spikes and stuff.
I don't know. We'll figure something out. We'll get her fixed. Think we better get out of here, though. And I am just going to grab the hotel notepad and the pen that's always next to it and write, "We know you're fake."
Jonah, you're stepping through the backyard. Motes of sickly green light, moths, vines, flowers, white luminescent grass.
I think what Jonah does is he takes off all his clothes, puts them in his bag, and puts on his mask. So he's just naked with his mask and his backpack on.
Classic Jonah move.
He's feeling it.
They're a little freaked out, by the way. They're just like, dude, this is too weird, even for you, Jonah. Come on, man.
And I look at him and I'm like, nothing is too weird for me.
I'm the weirdest thing, damn it.
Take off your fucking clothes and follow my lead. And I think what he does is he doesn't have more skull masks. So what he does is he like rips the rest of his shirt to like make like blindfolds. Maybe not blindfolds, maybe like just like masks of a sort.
The back door goes into like the kitchen. Lights are off. This sort of like grayish pink light of dusk is kind of like just barely billowing into the window. Rhodey, of course, immediately opens the refrigerator. Steal food, right? It opens up and there's just like a ton of like dragonflies and other insects just kind of like fly out. And he's like, oh, fuck. He kind of like flails around, slams it closed.
I like whack him in the back of the head. I'm like, take this, start tagging. And I hand him like a spray can.
Nice. And then while you're doing that, doing a little spray painting, you see something roll into the room. You might imagine like a contortionist twisted up, kind of backwards on their hands and legs, but then curled even further like a wheel, right? And they like roll in and they're wearing that like metal mesh bodysuit that covers top to bottom. And they roll in and they're twisted up like almost like a little tight ball, but backwards. And they roll in, and then they unfurl themselves so that they're like standing up right in front of you, right?
Okay.
And he says, I'm afraid I can't let you go any further. This is the end of the line for you.
There's like a big fucking knife on the kitchen counter right there.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'm just going to pick that up and swing it at
Lash Out
this
Physically.
person. That is a 6.
Market experience. There are now more of these characters. They just stand up like all around you, and they grab Rhodey and Tony and subdue him easily. And this one, like, you go for the knife and you slash into him, and it doesn't even like pierce the metal mesh. And he like reaches his hand up and he tightens his grip, and you just feel your trachea being crushed, and your blood is bubbling up in your mouth. You cannot make a sound. You're at 4 harm. Tell me everything, Ellen. What happened to you, child? And I'm going to say she had a string on you and pull strings and say, you get an XP if you tell her that your parents killed you.
I think I just say, they keep killing me. Over and over and over.
Hello, listeners. We hope you're enjoying Monsterhearts: Memories of Mercy Falls. As it turns out, there are a number of costs associated with producing pocket-sized play, including various hosting fees, online services like Dropbox, and editing. You can help defray those costs by supporting the Gauntlet on Patreon. A $2 pledge goes a long way toward keeping the lights on at Pocket Size Play, and you won't just be supporting the show, you'll also get exclusive early access to each new Pocket Size Play series in its entirety that we produce. So head over to patreon.com/gauntlet and support this show today. Thanks.